And so I had no interest in this until one day I was struck by lightning talking on the telephone. And I discovered that I was a spiritual being with absolutely nowhere to go, with absolutely no way to escape the fact that I not only was a spiritual being, that I had chosen and was chosen to be here at this particular time. Nowhere to go. And on top of that, I was dead. I was completely paralyzed. I was blind, and I was burning and on fire because of the damage done by the electrocution burning my nerve endings. And both of these things happened at the same time. And then what really happens is this. Once you escape this body, you have this opportunity to have what's called a life review. And it's where you see your entire life pass before you in a 360-degree panorama. And you have missed nothing. You know everything that you have ever seen. And you watch it from a second-person point of view as though you were your own best friend. And then you literally become every person that you ever encounter. And you feel the direct results of your interaction between you and that person. Most of mine was experiencing pain and anguish and suffering and the brutality that the nature of my life had created. As I started to enter this crystal city, and the being that was with me, I don't know how to say other than the word merged. The being that was with me merged with me, although it was my higher consciousness. I don't know. But I was there alone in front of these 13 beings, 12 beings in front of me and another being to my upper right. And the upper right being would designate one of these beings, and that being would begin to shimmer till it was all I saw was the outline of that silvery being and the pastel red, orange, blue, green, gold, violet, and hues of that. And it would send like a box at me. It was like, I would say like a laptop or, I always laugh about it, but it's the only thing I can use to describe. And I would enter this event. And it was different from the heaven place because I could smell burning flesh and I could see rotting and I could see buildings and I could see greenery and I could smell the smells, and I was actively as though I was a physical person there. And then it would recede, and I went through 12 of these boxes, and the predicator of it was the being of light said, if you keep doing what you've been doing, which is the aftermath of the Vietnam War, Korea, and World War II, then this is the probable possibilities of what's going to happen. Listen to this, and your generation, understand that they will never die. It's never going to happen. Never. Second, 95% of everyone who's ever had a near-death experience said they lifted out of their body. And they saw their body on the bed or in the car wreck or their body, and they observed it. Well, point number 2, you're not going to die. But if you lift out of your body and you see your body, that means you're not your body. Think of that as a revelation to what the near-death experience brings. It's a part of the near-death or dying process. You lift out of your body. Then you acclimate yourself to the world that you're leaving, and you begin to perceive the new system of laws and dynamics that were affecting your non-physical self. I mean, everybody has this that's had a near-death experience. Most of mine were basically the same. I'd lift out of my body and see myself lying on the operating table or seeing myself lying across the bed when I was first struck. The only one that was a little different, Lauren, was the brain surgery. Because in the brain surgery, I was standing at the end of the bed looking at the surgeon drilling holes in my head. So it was a different position. And before I had my near-death experiences. Let's say you looked at it from a cosmic point. Well, getting struck by lightning is definitely spiritual. And then attack on my heart, and then attack on my brain, mental, physical, and spiritual. So each one of those processes are cosmological mindsets that go with secret societies. Okay, that I have experienced and been through each of those. So everybody has an out-of-body experience when you leave. And you leave because you're never going to die. And you're not really that body. And everything that you build off of what that body is, other than taking care of it, is a trap to make you think that's you. And that you can kill it because you can cause it pain. So you have to create a way to control. You have heaven or hell. Okay, these are your two ways to control it. What if you don't do what we say, which one and where you're going? Well, all that's craziness. I'm sorry. That's all craziness to a spiritual being. But so many of us fall for it. In all my journeys over there, other than having to face myself in the life review, then there has never been any kind of hellish experience. But remember this, if you kill me, I get really interested in the subject matter. So I studied the heaven and hell story. I mean, if I didn't go to hell, nobody was going. And if there was anybody who was going to go to hell, it was going to be me. And when it did not happen, then I had to study it. So I've looked at hell. And I've talked to people who've had near-death experiences that were hellish. But there is no one that's had a near-death experience that was hellish, which is about 3%. That is anywhere near as horrifying as me having to face my original self. Having to face me and my motives of what I was doing and why. There is no hellish experience that I've ever heard that gets anywhere near that. So about 1.5% of that 3%, I can understand it because I've been in the death and dying, near-death business for 50 years.